Okay, it's right in front of me. What I did, Kelly, is I called the meeting to order. We did a roll call. And now we are looking at the minutes from the previous meeting, which Michelle had sent out. So the minutes of 8/20/24. Does anyone have a motion?
I move to approve the minutes.
Okay, Susan, the motion.
Seconded.
Second by Dave. Any discussion? All those in favor, Jess? Susan?
Yes.
Dave?
Aye.
And Jean, aye. So 4-0 to approve as printed. The mission statement, Kelly, at our last meeting, there was a couple of mistakes we noticed in the mission statement. Were you able to bring that to Kate's attention and ask Kate about rectifying that?
I am so sorry. I wasn't at the last meeting. I was at the COD meeting. So I can absolutely do that. I just didn't realize that was a task over to me.
I'm sorry.
No, I'll get that done for you guys actually tomorrow.
Okay, it's just on the bottom, it talks about the number of committee members, and it says, that we're 5 committee members, but then it says have 2 members for 1 year, 2 members for 2 years, and 3 members for 3 years, and that equals 7, not 5.
Yes, it does.
Okay. So, if they could just fix that, I think that was the only issue we had with them.
Okay, I was just gonna ask. I can actually do that and then send out to you guys tomorrow. Is there anything else I'm missing here that you would want added or subtracted to it?
I think we were gonna ask, in the last meeting, we talked about having Brian seek some feedback from the Board of Selectmen as to what they would like us to generally focus on. Is there something in particular they want us to?
Okay.
So that might help us, because otherwise we're just gonna go off on what we think we should be doing. But it would be nice if, we knew what they wanted us to do.
I will make sure that gets on the agenda for the 21st of October, just so you have the heads up on that. But I can also send that out to you guys.
Okay.
Because we also have a joint planning board, select board meeting to accept the housing production plan, the 21st.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so that 2 birds with 1 stone. Right?
Okay. All right, next on the agenda. I asked Brian to print out for us the economic development strategy plan, the expedited permitting guidebook, and the South-Lancaster commercial district, so that those of you that are not familiar with it. Yeah.
That's what I also provided. I think you have this from a previous meeting.
Yeah.
But what I did was, combined all these documents under the Massachusetts Fed into one document. So it also includes the site files, or the PowerPoint that Tracy provided last time, priority projects, as well as memorandum. Describing the survey. And so it's the said to date. What this I'm hoping to do with the booklet, and we can update it, and then we can move forward with as more documents come forward. Now I wanted to have. Do you want me to?
Yep. Go right ahead.
So he says, and I have a couple of questions into Tracy. So in 2021, you're probably familiar with this. You must have seen this, Jesse, right? The North Central Chamber of Commerce. I'm still assessing its value, but it looks like I don't know what the difference is between this master plan type, regional economic development master plan. It's more or less they called it one North Central, but it looks like it's pretty professionally done with consultants. Looking to see difference between a STED, a community economic development strategy, and this plan that the, I think part of the, so is, wait a minute, they must have stepped aside from companies, okay? The STED I believe it's mandated by the State Economic Development Administration. That regions need to produce. This is something that the North Central Chamber of Commerce took on home, but it does encompass, I think, I guess this would be the Montezuma region. They're calling it the North Central Mets. No, it isn't. It's larger than the Montezuma region. I know the Montezuma region does not include Pepperell. Don't think it includes Groton. It does include Shirley, Harvard, Hale, Lancaster, Penton. It doesn't include Barry. But I think the others are in the Montezuma region. State. Yeah. So everything except for Barry, Pepperell, Groton. Okay. So it's no surprise. They're talking about what they've learned, accessible and affordable, somewhat cheaper here. Now, keep in mind that this was made in June of 2021, so it is during the time of COVID, not far into the time of COVID, but I think, but it is taking that into account. So they talk about accessible and affordable. It is a slower growth in an aging population. So it talks about having to get younger people into the workforce, especially the manufacturing, advanced manufacturing. And what I wanted to say is my intention was to have this all for you today. We have a new copier over here, and it has a function that binds it. I'm always over here punching and binding these things. Killing me. I was going to master this today. It wouldn't let me do it.
Okay.
Jill knows how to do it. Anyways, I will have this for you. Employment concentrated in a few sectors: healthcare, manufacturing, and government public services. Manufacturing industry is experiencing change, such as the industrial sector has increased hiring higher tech firms that work in chemical manufacturing, electronic product manufacturing, research and development. These are the kind of jobs we want to attract to the region. However, we have a lower than state average employment attainment. So that's an issue that needs to be addressed. There are earnings have lower earnings than the average. In the state, but higher than, and they're using benchmarks. They're talking about comparison communities: Route 128, Plymouth County, Metro West. Now, of course, everyone knows that Metro West in Massachusetts is a very high area, but they're also comparing us to Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, and Greenville County, South Carolina. Similar type towns, mill towns, older mill towns that need infrastructure improvements and are, similar demographic profile as North Central Mass. So, again, it goes through, and I want to highlight, they did a SWOT analysis. So, of course, I think we all know the lower real estate pricing and cost of living. I think that may have changed since 2021.
I think so.
Availability of land, I'm not so sure about, somewhat in that case. A variety of community types, accessibility in centralized location, established economic development and tourism coalitions. I think the weaknesses stand out though. Automobile access is essential. We have no public transport. Age of the building stock. We have older buildings, we don't have new industrial commercial development. And there's a relative lack of housing diversity, and I don't know what they mean by a common regional voice. Is that a weakness, or is it a lack of a common regional voice? So that's a big question. But the opportunities are Devon's as a regional center of economic development, downtowns as attractive mixed-use nodes, legacy industries pivoting to or adding high-tech uses, retain retirees with housing and amenities, and locate jobs and homes near transit stations. I don't know how that affects Lancaster.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of, went through this, there's a lot of good stuff. I will definitely get this to you guys right next time. If I just email it to everyone, will everyone be comfortable printing it out? And Gordy, would you rather have me bring five? I'll do both. Just by email. Okay. Nice.
You know me.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Have yours Thursday night.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
All right, so I won't belabor that, but it seems to be a pretty good. These two, South Lancaster, Eugene, you were on the planning board this
Yeah.
time when we did this. This is, I think, more of a, it seems to have a more realistic, I mean, it does have a
Can I
realistic.
pause real quick? Are you showing something?
Not on screen, no, they're, I have copies.
We have handouts, Dave.
The handouts.
Okay. There's links to everything in the agenda, but it would be helpful to know what, like, again, I'm in Austin, Texas, so it's not like
I knew you weren't around.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you could reference what you're looking at so that I can be on
Sure.
the page, would be great.
You're looking at the South Lancaster Commercial District. This was prepared for the town of Lancaster through the planning board, the iteration of the planning board in 2021. This was right in January 2021.
Yeah.
I think the findings here were saying, kind of a moribund situation in South Lancaster. And one thing that stuck out to me was, the action steps. No. Okay, nothing has been done since then, so
No.
we can really take a look at this as a blueprint of what we still need to do. Nothing's happened with AUC.
No.
We still have the same two vacant properties. The one, and what is that building right outside, right past the bridge, 57 Main Street? It's got the.
On the right?
Yeah, on the right going down this, no, the coming up from Clinton
On the right. It used to be the Bridge Diner, which is now across the street.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that was the original Bridge Diner.
Yeah.
I think there's an engineering company on the end of it.
Doesn't look like it. I mean,
No.
they're showing it, it's on page 13, on the bottom of page 13, you'll see, yes,
Yeah, the old bridge.
that's the old Bridge Diner.
Oh, yeah. You do remember that? Yep.
I mean, I just don't know why something like that would be left.
The sewer commission had an office in there for a while, but I think they're moved. I don't know where
They
are.
moved, I think they moved across the street from what Ada described. She
Across the
said something,
street.
yeah, to the bridge, that she said, across the street. She told me that they're like behind the Bridge Diner.
There's
Oh, they
nothing
couldn't still
behind the
be.
bridge. No, there's nothing behind the Bridge Diner.
They couldn't still be.
They could be. There's,
The first place to work.
Well, there is that building in between the New Cumberland Farms and the Bridge Diner. Could it be in there? There's like a brick building.
that's the well drilling company.
Okay,
Yeah, that's the old,
there's no way they could be behind there.
no, that's a drilling company.
Cause there's an apartment above it, and
Above,
then there
yeah.
were greenhouses back there.
And he's got Michael's
Yeah,
greenhouse.
but
I know the sewer commission was in the trolley stop building, and then I thought they moved down here.
Okay, I think it's just one on board.
Yeah, there's a woman.
Yeah.
And then I think
Christine.
also in here is Capco Engineering
Okay. Yeah.
is
Oh,
in
you
here.
think they.
I believe they're in there, across from the bridge, right? George, you know where the old brick?
Hmm.
Yeah.
it says Sewer Commission 94 Main Street.
94.
I wonder who owns it. But see, I didn't look it up.
Well, remember at the Board of Appeals, when Grant was talking about the woman wanting access,
Mhm.
she owns that,
Oh,
and she wanted because this is next door to Grant,
you're right.
okay? And that right away goes with this.
Yeah, it's like, right, it's either in Cumberland Farms or right next to it. It's like the map says it's like, I'm showing a map now, Dave, that pins the sewer commission
So
in
you're
between
saying
Cumbies and,
In between
Right here.
Cumbies and,
so it's, and Michael, so I was, I don't know.
Well, I just, I guess it's kind of curious as to how you got the property run down like that.
Well, it was owned by the people that owned the building next to the post office,
Mhm.
and they died. Help me,
Is that the flooring,
no,
the Cretan flooring?
no, no,
Oh, the other side, the old, kitchen post.
yeah, that's
Uh,
across,
If I could reference, because we have a hybrid meeting, if I was not on the I would have no idea what any of you are talking about. And we have the ability to share a screen. We should probably be sharing the screen in case there
Okay,
are
let me see if
people
I
attending
can.
the meeting. Yeah, because I did open the right document, but I'm still lost.
all right, Brian is trying to understand the building, when you go under the bridge, coming from Clinton into Lancaster
Yep,
on Main Street, the old Bridge Diner on the right-hand side,
yep.
okay?
Oh
Who's
no,
the-
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm saying if I was in this meeting and not on the committee, I would have no idea. Like,
Okay, right.
if we are referencing a document, we should be showing the document in the Zoom meeting.
Yeah, so the document is the South Lancaster Commercial District. It's what the planning board was working on with MRPC back in 21. And at our last meeting, we had talked about the rezoning of the AUC from the Nashville River down to the Clinton line.
Yep.
So I asked Brian to print this document out and hand it out so that we could all look at it and familiarize ourselves
Yep.
with what was going
It's-
to be
The,
proposed.
the document itself is linked in the agenda. So what I'm saying is whoever is sharing the screen can click
Yeah.
on the link and show the document that you're actually talking about
No,
on
we're
the,
gonna,
on the
Yeah.
Zoom meeting.
Yeah, Brian's trying to do that. Now,
Gotcha.
I'm just trying to tell you why we have this document,
Yeah.
so.
Hey, Jean?
Yes.
Yeah, just sorry, Kelly, just wanted to let you guys know, in regards to what David's saying, it's just the screen was on where we could see you guys even, but we can't even see you guys now. So there's a little bit of a mishap. Something's going on with the Zoom over there. There we go. So we can see you guys now, which does help anyone who might watch this.
Also-
I know Brian's working on the rest, but I just want to make sure that was said.
Gotcha. Thank you.
This is why I hate Zoom. I am not a computer person and
I get it. I get it.
man, it's frustrating.
I think we're gonna get over to.
So the purpose, David, of giving this document is just so that we could read it and maybe at the next meeting, talk about like our next steps. Do we want to invite MRPC in? Do we want to pursue this area for redevelopment? Is this one of our top projects or, what do we want to do with it?
No, it's not. I have to, I'm on my,
I think you got to get the agenda up there and then click the link is what we got to do.
on the polls.
In the interim, it looks like, I'm not sure if you would be open to it, but it looks like Kendra's putting some stuff in the chat, stating who the property owner is and all of that, if you want to take a peek.
Oh, cool. Just gonna say it and I'm gonna remember the name. We
Well,
don't
at
even
the
have,
pleasure of the board, I can just rattle it off, but I don't want to speak out of turn.
no, go ahead, Kendra, help us
David
out.
Newbold owns both of the properties.
Okay, and who did he purchase them from?
I don't know who he purchased them from, but I know he is the current owner of them. So the
Okay.
property closest to the railroad tracks, which is across from the bridge and to the right of Cabco,
Yeah,
is the property that has significant easement complications with the railroad,
okay,
which is why he's been kind of pigeon-toed from conversations he's had with me on a personal level on what to do with that property. The
okay,
property to the left of the post office, which he owns, and I'm not exactly sure what he's doing with it. I know he's been working on renovating it, was where he wanted to open a coffee shop until he heard about what happened to the coffee shop the first time it came around and said, well, just never mind.
yeah, okay. Thank you, Kendra, appreciate that. I didn't realize David bought the old bridge too.
Do you have access to your email? Because you did send it out in an email and you could open it.
Yeah, that sounds not gonna.
I put it in the chat. If you just click on the link that's in the chat.
Now we gotta get back to that.
There it is.
Right there. Yeah, okay, yeah.
I
So,
just can't find my folder list is not coming up.
That's okay. If you do have that on your screen, you click share screen at the bottom. You can pick the document you want to share.
so we're not sharing it yet, Dave? No?
No.
To share.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Dave, that work?
Can you see it now, Dave?
Huzzah. I can see it.
Yeah. So. So Brian and I talked last week, and I asked him to print this out for the members. And then I also asked him to maybe, if the board wants, try to get in touch with whoever's in charge of AUC at this time and invite them in to meet with us, give us a chance to read this, and then invite them in. And where are they at? What are they doing? What can we do? Can we do something to assist them? If we were to do this change, would that benefit them? How can we work together with them to move this area along? Sound like a plan?
Who currently, who owns the property right
That's, it's owned by Atlantic Union.
They still own, it. So like, when this study happened, there's.
They
stuff
were
on the
owners.
table, but then nothing.
Nothing's done.
Nothing happened. Yeah.
So the latest, they did come before the planning board back in January, February, and they pretty much said, nothing's happening. Right now, we're just going to hold serve and just do what we normally do. They're having, it's gonna be an education program, but it's pretty much limited to the Seventh-day Adventist community worldwide, nationwide, doing classes on they have a special dietary
Yeah, nutrition.
nutrition and within their sect and their religion.
Mhm.
But other than that, and again, I've been getting nudges, people there saying the time could be right to knock on doors. Get together with town officials, knock on doors, just start a conversation.
About the job.
Yeah, right. Open up
Yeah,
conversations.
yeah, and find out, if they want to run a nutritional program, they're not going to use all their buildings.
No, of course not.
What can we do with them? How can we assist them, or how can they assist us in coming up with a goal that'll benefit everyone?
So, and I think, they want to start looking at certain properties, they have 3 or 4 lots, I think, that's subdivided into some different lots. Or maybe it's the Sterling-Lancaster Academy and the AUC and.
South Lancaster Academy and Browning,
They're ongoing.
separate entities. Yeah, and this is for a question for George Francis here. My understanding is AUC, all of their buildings are on one piece of property. And they've been there for 100 years. So now comes, we want to sell off and subdivide and do things. They're going to need zoning relief because nothing is going to meet zoning for frontage area. But if we were to do some sort of district with an iPod overlay or 40R district or something there, then they may not necessarily need that type of relief to be able to develop. Am I in the right track? Help us out, George.
Well, Madam Chair, George Brown's 13 Highway Drive. I'm a member of the planning board, and I want to say I'm so pleased that the EDC is back in action. So, an absolutely vital organization as far as the town is concerned. What you're talking about with AUC, I mean, there were other non-contiguous properties that were owned by AUC. I think most of those have been sold off, you know,
Right.
two houses and so
Yeah.
forth. So the majority of the buildings that are left are probably, as you say, on one plot. And it would take some
Creative.
aggregation, you know, to be able to make it better or something, but. I wanted to suggest that you be willing, a couple of ideas. I think that one of the things that the planning board could do that would be a huge value would be to develop and maintain a list and map of available properties in Lancaster. Everybody talks about, oh, well, you know, there's a Route 70 area. Well, when you stop and actually get back into it, most of those parcels have been sold. So I think having a current list and map of available sites would enable the EDC to talk with developers in a much more informed fashion and you know, put them together with properties and gee, you know, we'll be happy to introduce you guys to the planning board. We might have a joint meeting and go over some of the permitting process and so forth. It's a little bit further afield, but it really isn't. Consider a study of developing water and sewer in North Lancaster area. Because for every piece of property that we've attempted to develop in that area, the big lot has been water and sewer. So you have to make some kind of arrangement, Mr. Shirley and on-site disposal system and so forth. Huge barriers to better development. But it costs a lot, sure. But, you know, knowing what it might cost and some reason it's of where it costs to develop that area might be very helpful.
So I'm sorry, Jeff, you suggested getting the current map of the store or just how can the sewer district expand? The sort of.
Sure, Brian, that would definitely be part of that discussion.
Good. Just to comment a little bit on that, I don't know if I was correct. So right now, the sewer commission, if you were to talk with the sewer commission, they would go to their website. I'm not sure if it's on their website, but you know, they have like, you know, a lot of towns, municipal sewer districts. They're a separate entity. They're not part of that. But anyways, they have a dark, you know, lack of sewer credits available mainly because of their, what do we call it, infiltration and there's a high inflow and infiltration. So, you know, so much clean water, as they say, is getting into the pipes and finding up in Clinton that's using up a lot of their available capacity. So I worked with the sewer commission earlier this year and submitted a grant application to the community one stop. And if we hear back from them with an award in October, November, that's gonna get them started on doing some of this I&I repair. That's gonna free up some credits and theoretically get more businesses or more revenue into the sewer district, which could then supposedly increase their ability to stock market. Some thoughts on going down North Main Street towards Leominster, Yeah.
Yeah.
So at that point, Jungle Road area. type of
Oh,
thing.
that's far. I mean, where does the sewer stop now? It's at the nursing home?
Yep.
It goes to the nursing home on 117.
So there could be some movement, of course, with the sewer district, in that regard, but continue. I just wanted to give you an update.
That's basically it. I look forward to working with the EDC, and the better tools that your committee has to entertain developers, the more likely we can make connections that really matter. So, thank you. for your time.
Thank you.
I just want to say, I think that, because the sewer district is limited as it is, that gives us, give the committee and the planning board, zoning board, the impetus to concentrate development in the downtown.
Right.
So I think
Yes.
that's just-
Where we know we have sewer and water right now. I know North Lancaster is gonna be a challenge. And, I thought the water was squared away with Lemonster, with the capital group, but we learned that it's not. We've actually asked the capital group, we've invited them to come in, sit down and talk to us at one of the future meetings, November or December, to find out where they're at their development stage, what are they looking to market? How are they looking to market? Who are they looking to market to? Because they're key, they're 350 acres, I think. So, they could probably kind of start whatever's gonna happen there. And I think for them, for sewer, they were gonna put a treatment plant in it, remember? They were gonna get water from
Yes.
Lemonster and then put their own sewer plant, sewer treatment.
Sewer treatment.
Yep. I mean, I don't know how far away it is, but Fort Devens has a sewer treatment plant.
Mhm.
And I don't know, how far it would be from them, if they would even allow us to tie in. Even if we tie in the ponds, the residential, it's just something, I don't know.
Yeah, they seem, even though they're right across the street, they just seem to be a million miles away.
I know.
It's a whole different branch of business.
Yeah, I know. But it's something, we could look at.
Yeah.
So the other thing we have is, I asked Brian to make, so we're gonna move on to the Town of Lancaster expedited permitting guidebook. And that goes hand in hand with a letter that I received from Kate Hodges talking about the MOU money from the North Lancaster Capital Group LLC. And what she would like to propose is that some of that money be set aside to help this group, the EDC group, I believe, create a new one of these, an updated version of the expedited permitting guide.
Okay.
And she wants to know if we're in favor of doing this. This is what she was going to suggest to the select board. I don't know what the committee feels,
This is from the last time this was done was October 2010.
Yeah, yeah. So it's pretty old. So she says, I'm just trying to look here where she says. Some of the funds to be used allows for their potential use by the Economic Development Committee. The idea was to provide funds to help the members market and promote economic interest and development in Lancaster. One of the ideas discussed was the creation of a planning guide, a similar tool to help small business owners or potential developers navigate the vetting and permitting processes in town. So I think this guidebook is probably a good start. And if we can get some money, I'm not sure who could help us work on that, Brian, because the money would be for somebody, it wouldn't be for us by no means.
We update this permanent guide.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know, this is really a consultative thing, it's really, I think I went through this, looks like a lot of it is still fairly pertinent.
It
Some
could
of
be,
it,
yeah.
I think it's just a question of getting having the different boards update their processes. And then if we can then find some best practices around
Yeah.
expedited permit.
Yeah.
I think the important thing is, and what we've been doing, one of the things I started doing when I first came on was to do these technical, meetings with potential applicants. Just
Mhm.
let's hear about the project and get all the different departments around public safety, board of health, planning, zoning, building department, conservation department, and just to make sure that the applicant coming in realizes what permits, what applications he's gonna need to do. So there's no surprise when he comes in and gets a special permit from the zoning board, only to find out then that he has to go before the planning.
Yeah.
So that's the value of having these technical assistance meetings. So that has started. And so, and this is, I think it's really important to have this expedited permitting guidebook updated and used by all the boards. If we are to become perceived as a business friendly.
And it is on the mission statement, so it would be, we would be doing one of the, missions that they're asking us for, is to create, maintain, and update the Lancaster Business Permitting Guide.
Yeah.
So, I think if the board is in favor, we could let Kate know that, we would appreciate some money. And if it's something we want to start working on, then say, let's do it. Yeah, yeah. Dave, you in favor? David is.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so the consensus is that we will let Kate know. And then I think, again, I think we gotta read it. I haven't read it since hopefully 2010. See what's still applicable, see what we need to change. And then, would that be something like MRPC would help us with, you think?
I don't think that would be their area of expertise,
No.
because they're not really into municipal permitting. I don't think that they would have that expertise. Most regional planners, I don't think would. At least I don't think MRPC does. But, I could certainly, we could devise an RFP if we wanted to go to something.
Yeah.
And,
If we have the
get
money.
that out, yeah.
Yeah. Right, so that's good. Covers Kelly's 8th letter.
So Kelly, we can connect tomorrow if you want to talk directly to Kate on that.
Kelly's there, but she's muted.
Okay, sorry. I was talking and you couldn't hear me. Yes, I can absolutely do that, and Brian will definitely connect tomorrow on that.
Okay.
Perfect. So I thought Roy was gonna come in and talk to us tonight.
No,
Roy,
read that.
read that.
Yeah, no, apparently he hasn't been able to get on the select agenda, so he didn't think it was appropriate to bring it out
Okay.
before going before the select board.
Okay. So let's see, prospective business owners, developers, and other subject matter experts will speak to the EDC. So again, Brian and I met and we talked about this, and Brian reached out to Capital.
Yeah, and Bob the tea tree
Yeah,
wrote right back, very prompt, and said he'd love to come before the meetings.
okay,
And talk to us, so, providing, he asked us to provide, he seems to have a very strong grasp on, regional.
the current market.
The current market was, he actually gave us some very valuable insight as to what's going on with that warehouse up in Lunenburg. That's.
Oh, the big vacant one?
Yeah. So that, so he has market insight, what's going on with these type of trends. And it seems to have been I don't want to go into it in public because I don't give
Yeah.
But, you know, on the video, like, we can talk offline, and I think Bob will be able to share it if he feels comfortable sharing it. But, yeah, so I think that would be a great one to start.
Okay, so
And then what we talked about?
I'm gonna talk to Steve Boucher,
Yeah.
who also owns a lot of land in North Lancaster,
Mhm.
along with Bob DePietri.
Yeah.
And Steve Boucher does all the site work for the land on Fort Pond End where they were just approved for the 3 warehouses. So I'm gonna see if Steve wants to come in, but I wanna make sure, because there's a lawsuit between the two,
Mhm.
that it's okay to have them both in the room at the same time. And if it isn't, then we'll do separately. I don't want to cause a problem. I know Steve and I know Bob, and they're both great guys, and cause any problems. And then the third one, I think we thought was AUC. We thought those 3 would be really good starting points for us. So it's next meeting, which would be October. Was Bob available for October? No, he was out of the country. Remember?
No, I think he's.
He's
Oh,
available
no,
in October,
November.
but he's out of
For the
country in
November
November.
meeting. You want-
Oh, we want to be in November,
Yeah.
okay. So do you think if we were to read this commercial district booklet and see if we can get AUC for the next meeting?
Mhm.
And then we can kind of get this rolling and then talk to the Petrie about North Lancaster. And in the meantime, read the expedited permitting guidebook and, you know, see what we got to do there. So we're kind of a little bit scattered, but I think they're good directions we're going in. If everybody agrees to that, I think.
Yes.
I like that.
Okay. Mhm. Okay.
And we also talked about, I brought your suggestion to, Kate about Devon's Army.
Oh, yeah.
And
Okay.
about,
Yeah.
talking to, Steve Perry.
Yeah.
And, you know, who would be the best person, and she said, you would be the best person.
Me?
He said, you would be the best person to talk to Steve. and-
Oh, okay. Oh, I'll talk to Steve,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
I thought you meant to talk to Devin.
No, not talking to them,
Okay.
but talk to Steve to
Yep.
find out
He
the
remembers.
agreement, or that whatever was
Yeah.
talked about at that time about at some point, releasing land
Yeah.
or repatriating, if you will,
Yeah, yeah.
to Lancaster. And pick that ball up over.
What we're talking about is, back when Fort Devens closed, it was Governor Weld and Senator Ted Kennedy, and I was on the planning board, and we had meetings over at Devens with the closure of Devens. And my recollection is there was an agreement made that the 5,000 acres that remained in Lancaster for the Army, when they no longer had a use for it, they would give it back to Lancaster. And that would be the land on Route 70. It's also the land where they have a lot of undetonated
It's.
ordinances. Yeah. So whether it ever happens or not, I don't know, but I think at the time, Steve was working for Ted Kennedy. So I'm hoping Steve has a better memory than I have. But if we could at least start a conversation with Devens, whoever's there now as the general for the training post, is there land behind Kimball's? Is there land along the frontage of 70 that they're no longer using that's been cleaned up? It is okay that they're not using, that maybe they could give us 20 acres, 30 acres, you know, something that we could start to look at for developing for the town of Lancaster.
You know, well, yeah, remember this, we can find out pretty easily, sure. What determines when they're done? Is it the cleanup protocol or is it?
See, that I don't remember. I don't remember if they had to clean it or it's just they weren't going to use it for military purposes. I don't remember the general's name. I remember going to meetings over there
I do have one contact. With.
on the military side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was doing something, they were rehabbing one of the gun ranges, the hotel gun range. They had to get a conservation mission
Mhm.
certification or approval.
Mhm.
I talked with them a few times. He said someone I have an email, he seemed like a reasonable guy, I'm sure I can talk to him and whether he can provide any insight or not, I'm not sure. But I've also heard talk to other people in town here who seem to be very familiar, where they live near there. And they've noticed, you know, that over the years, for instance, the paratrooper training,
Yep,
it seems to have.
it seems to have faded away.
Right,
Yeah,
they
you never
don't
see,
ban it.
you never see them jumping in.
Right, so it's that seems to be a
Yeah.
chunk of land that's no longer used.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, one example.
I know a few people in there too, so I can see if I can get it.
Any names or anything, yeah. And I just thought Steve would be a good contact because he worked for Senator Kennedy forever. And I remember Senator Kennedy being there and Governor Weld being there and a general from the Army being there. And he was kind of the one spearheading the whole closure and what they were keeping and not keeping, so.
We can start on that.
Yep, so we can work on,
That'll bring us into next year.
for sure. All right, so then our next meeting will be hopefully AUC.
I need to reach out.
Yep. Reviewing this economic South-Lancaster. And we'll
Should
start
we have
looking
a
at,
backup if AUC is not available?
you said Bob couldn't come in October?
It didn't sound like he was on, it sounded like he would be available for the November meeting.
All right, if he can't, I can get a hold of Steve Boucher and see if he can come in for October.
What about Kimball's?
We could have Kimball's come in too.
Mhm.
All right, you want to try, so we gotta kind of know if AUC is gonna come.
Right.
So if AUC isn't going to come, why don't we see if Kimball's and Steve Boucher?
Mhm.
Because Steve is right across from Boucher's, from Kimball's, so. Yeah, he owns that, like, with a gas station and behind the gas station and stuff, so. Kimball's. Steve. So you let me know as soon as you hear from AUC. If they can't, then I'll get a hold of Steve.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna check AUC.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna try, if not AUC, you'll try Steve, and if you can't get Steve, I'll try Kimball's. And,
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Okay. And when these business developers come in, I think we should start thinking about like questions to ask them, why they're here, why they want to stay, what can we do to help them?
What's not working?
What,
What's not working?
what's not working? Yeah, what's first?
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, where is there opportunity? Things like that.
And, you know, and I think, and we put this on the percolator. Can we raise my hand, yeah? You know, I just, you know, if not like next meeting and the meeting after, maybe in January, you know, but I'd like to see if we can start thinking about rezoning. The
Rezoning.
rezoning down to
Yeah.
the South Lancaster district. Now whether like it's gonna be a 40R,
Mhm.
you know. DPM is also in the picture there. We can also, I don't know if anyone needs an update on. Is everyone familiar with Kate's presentation on DPM, the
Yeah.
different scenarios? Has
Yeah.
everyone seen
Yeah.
that? Okay, so we don't have to rehash that. But I mean, I think we can start, you know, again, we're just waiting for the word from the state.
Yeah,
For us to acquire, and there's also, you know, we still don't know, we're still not clear on what the environment is.
yeah.
So we may not even want that.
Well, I know, and what I've heard, it could be, we might not want. it.
Right.
You know, we might want to.
That's always a possibility.
Yeah.
You want to call on Kelly here?
Yeah.
Hey, just wanted to add to Jean's comment. I think it would be beneficial if, and I'm happy to put something together, but a evaluation tool that you use, you can have some off comments and questions for each kind of presenter that comes in, but having a strong uniformed evaluation tool would be really helpful for collecting data so that at the end of so maybe each presenter, we can start putting all that information together and create a chart to say what is working in town, what isn't working in town, what what are their benefits or whatnot, what would they like to see happen, and we can really make a nice chart for a presentation to see how that goes.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be good, because we'll be comparing apples to apples
Yeah.
and the end of our speakers symposium.
Is David's hand up or is that just something there?
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
I just yell out. I don't wait for my
Oh,
hand.
okay. Well, there was a white hand on your name, so I didn't know if it was you.
Probably just a
Trying
mouse.
to be polite.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson first.
Yeah. So you have a Greater Leominster Chamber of Commerce meet and greet on the agenda.
Well, that was,
Is that,
Jessica's first, right? What is that?
It's on
Week from today.
next Tuesday, today, 24th.
Okay,
So,
I just wanted to remind everyone that that's available.
it's what time, Jess?
I believe it's 4:30,
4:30?
4 or 5, 4:30 or 5 to 6. You think I would notice?
Just, and it's at the Sterling Brewery in Clinton.
5 to 7.
The job, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Yes, good people.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Burgers? Oh, yeah, paninis. What's that?
Paninis.
Paninis.
They have good appetizers.
Perhaps.
Good apps. Okay, do we have any new business or correspondence?
No. So I guess maybe that's what I wanted to send in the business was start thinking about rezoning it.
Yeah.
And what that might look like.
Now, has the planning board looked at any rezoning or are they
No,
nothing? At this point?
it's hard, it's hard to get, we got a couple of, problematic, got a couple challenging applications for the planning board right now. And it's gonna be hard to take up that kind of
Mhm.
effort because it takes a lot, so I'm thinking this would be key. I think, pretty sure the planning board would be open, I can't speak for the planning
Yeah.
board, of course, but I think that, both the planning board and the zoning board would be open to.
Fixing zoning.
Well,
There are so many
applications. Or have some type of
Yeah.
proposal or some type of rezone plan.
Yeah.
As long as it's logic and it's logical and it would mean, it would indicate. Juice behind it that shows it would be, increased revenue
Yeah.
for the town and relief for the taxpayers, the residential taxpayers.
Yeah.
Which is exactly the point.
Do we want to ask George to go back to the planning board and ask if they want to participate or if they want a member to participate, work with us on zoning? I don't want to overstep. I don't want to take over anyone's thunder,
We can nominate George as
Yeah.
liaison from the planning board to the EDC.
something like that. If you want to go back and ask, if they'd be willing to do that, I'd love to work with you again, George. George and I were on the original EDC in Lancaster.
Yeah, well, I mean, George had reached out to me, a few months ago, asking what was going on with me, but I hadn't heard anything. And, then all of a sudden this came up, and it seemed like it was already, wanted to nominate George.
Yep.
But no one asked me
Yeah.
for my suggestions, so I didn't get a chance to put George's hat in the ring for this.
Because I think it's important to have somebody from the planning board to get, you can talk to your board members and what are they looking at for rezoning for South Lancaster? What are they totally opposed to? Because I don't want to go and do something and have this board say, oh, we're gonna just do a carte blanche, and then you guys say, no, I don't want to fight. I want us all to get along and let's do something that the town can be proud of. So
Yeah, for sure.
we can work together.
So, with the zoning board, planning board, this committee, so
Yep. Yep.
in good communication, and Kelly for the select board.
Select board, yeah.
And We're not gonna be getting too far off the reservation.
I hope not. We're just gonna talk to the planning board about becoming our helper,
Liaison.
a liaison. Okay. So do we think we have everything covered for next meeting? Do we have anything else we want to discuss tonight?
No.
Is this committee or the format or the way it's going, meeting
Just okay.
expectations of the members of what they expect to be doing? Yeah.
I would. David, you okay with everything? You got anything else?
I don't think I had an expectation coming in. I had absolutely no idea like what I was getting into, if I'm being completely honest with you. I think as long as we are actively trying to make it easier for the business community to expand or to come to Lancaster if they're not here, then I think all of those things are steps in the right direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. We have no other business. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Right, David, is there a second? Susan? Any discussion? I'll roll call vote. David?
Yay.
Susan?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
And Jean, yes. 4-0, we are adjourned at 7:32.
32.
Okay.